Podcasting from Rome, Georgia, a beautiful little spot in the northwest corner of the state near the Appalachian Mountains. You're listening to Suburban Outdoorsman with Sean and Kevin. Join us as we chronicle our journey, attempting to go from a couple of average suburban dads to competent, skilled outdoorsmen.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Kevin, and today we are going to be talking about EDC.
Yes, EDC, or your everyday carry bags. Notice my air quotes.
Yeah, because you don't actually carry this every day? Is that why you're air quoting?
Most of the time.
Oh, okay. So most of the day carry. MDC.
Occasionally I carry.
So, and that'll be the thing we look at.
Bags.
What do we carry every day versus what we just have with us, around us on a regular basis? What's in our pockets and all that?
And I guess what the whole principle behind the EDC is.
Yep. That'll be a good topic, I think. So I guess let's get started with the show.
First of all, I haven't seen you basically in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's because I've been traveling. I've been going out to Raleigh a lot.
Evidently you have another job other than this.
Yeah. Apparently somebody is not, helping promote this as well as they should be so that we can both retire.
You can't talk about our listeners like that. They're right here.
Oh, all right. Well, forget what I just said then. Sorry. But yeah, I've been going out to Raleigh, which I'm here this week and next week, and then I'll be out again the week after that for the week.
Good grief.
But that one, actually, the hotel I got last time when I was able to rebook it is a, I don't know what they call it, a bi-level suite, I guess.
I didn't know that was a thing in hotels.
Yeah, I didn't. This is the first one I've seen it in a just hotel. It's a Residence Inn.
Huh.
So it's one of the ones designed for the extended stay. It's got the full kitchen with the oven and the dishwasher and all that.
And I've stayed in various levels of Residence Inn.
Yeah.
I've never seen
I've had some
level
low-end bedrooms, and I've had some really nice bedrooms.
Yeah.
And this one, though, is it's got a room downstairs with, closing French doors, and then you go up the stairs, and there's another room upstairs. So it's big enough that Aaron and the kids can come with me, and it's actually on the cheaper end of the pricing. It's within the budget that my company allows. So
that's awesome.
Room's already going to be paid for, and I calculated up, and the cost of me driving out there and submitting for mileage reimbursement is cheaper than what they would be paying for my flight and my car rental. So I got the approval to do that as well. So
that's nice.
We're going to drive the car out there. I'll get reimbursed for the mileage on that. And then I'll have my normal per diem while I'm out there, which is enough to buy some, breakfast, lunch food, things like that. And there's breakfast at the hotel. So we're going to turn it into a little mini vacation.
That's good.
Spend the week out there.
Because you're gone a lot lately. And if
wasn't supposed to be this much. But
I imagine the kids and your wife probably miss you at least a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
I know Kristen's, my wife, she's out of town. And it was
misses
supposed to be a week. Ended up being 2 weeks.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought she was going to be back already.
Yeah, no, and that's pretty miserable. Turns out I'm not good alone.
Yeah.
Not good at being alone, even though I've got 3 kids constantly.
Yeah, so you're not really alone, but it's different.
It's different.
So that'll be nice, though. At least, I can at least take advantage of this time having them out there. Next time, you got to get Kristen to get a bigger hotel room so you guys can all go with her.
Well, a few times we have. And things are about to change, that we're about to get my mom's old condo. She was going to sell it, and she's like, well, it's still available for you. She couldn't decide whether she wanted to sell it or use it for people coming down and all that stuff.
Oh, so you guys can stay there.
So we can, and it's in Orlando, so it's only about a 25-minute drive to her work.
Oh, that's cool.
There.
Yeah,
but we used to live there at one point.
Yeah,
that was where my oldest was living when we had her. That makes sense?
No, that's
when
where you were
Kaylin
living.
Was born.
That's where you were.
We
were
all living in that condo when I don't know how that came out.
Yeah, because I thought you were starting to go somewhere else with it, and then decided to change how you were going to word it. And then,
well, English is my second language.
Yeah. So
bad English.
Now, as a kind of segue, maybe almost into our topic today,
smooth segue
with all this traveling back and forth, not being home all the time, would be one of the areas of where everyday carry would come into play.
Right.
Now, one thing I did find interesting is there were, I don't necessarily say a lot, but I found it not to be uncommon of people assuming that when you referred to everyday carry, that you were referring to a gun. Whereas there are many people that do include a gun as part of their
let's bring this home a little bit. What is an everyday carry for?
Something you carry every day.
Like a wallet?
Yeah, that could be part of your everyday carry.
Right.
So, for me, I've got 2 categories of everyday carry. I've got what I always have in my pockets on my person when I leave the house. A couple new additions to that, but in general, it's going to be what I've always got in my pocket. It's always on me. So, my phone, my wallet, keys, etc. And then my everyday carry bag, which would be additional items beyond that I would carry with me on a regular basis.
And the idea behind that is preparing for a certain level of an event.
Situation.
Some kind of
anything.
situation.
Yeah.
I want to say emergency, but any kind of situation.
Yeah. And I mean,
reason.
It could be a minor emergency, like your phone died. So maybe you carry a charger as part of your everyday carry. Obviously, in the age and day we live in now, our phones have become a very staple part of our everyday lives.
You kind of have to live with your phone.
Yeah. So, one of the guides I was reading about an everyday carry, putting an everyday carry bag, kind of broke it down into what are the common things you deal with on an everyday basis, things that you deal with day to day that you need to have. So, for example, driving, going to stores, things like that. So, your wallet with your driver's license, with your credit cards, cash, that's an item that you would essential for your everyday carry because those are all things you experience every day. Well, what other situations might you run into consistently on a day-to-day basis? And you fill the needs for that. Then you go to what are items that are common, but maybe not every day. What situations could you commonly run into? And then you base that on, so for example, one of the things they used, and it's going to vary person to person. Maybe you've got a dad who is, or not even doesn't be a dad, just be somebody who works, no kids around him all the day, has one set of standards, whereas a mom or dad who is at home taking care of their kids on a regular basis and going places with their kids may have cuts from their kids as part of a common occurrence. So having bandages in their everyday carry.
Well, you think about it, a diaper bag is an everyday carry bag for
babies.
For a baby. Yeah. So you have in there, and this is basically the same premise of, a survival, again, air quotes, EDC bag and a diaper bag. It's just stuff that might happen.
Yeah.
You have, diaper rash in a diaper bag, not because the baby's got it, because he might have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Such a dad.
Wow. Been there 3 times.
So let's do this first. What I want to look at is, what do you carry? What do you have? Do you have items that you always have when you leave the house, no matter what?
100% of the time, I've got my phone, my wallet, and my watch.
Okay.
And it's a smartwatch, so I'm going to consider that part of my part of a resource.
Yeah.
And then I try to make sure that I have a pocket knife and a multi-tool on me.
Yeah.
And multi-tool is a new one. Multi-tool. I bought a cheap one a while ago at Walmart. It was a couple of years back, just to make sure I'd hang on to it, because I tend to buy these things and lose them.
Yeah.
So I went and bought a cheap one just to make sure I can keep hold of it. And it's been a couple of years now, and I've gotten a lot of use from it. I really need to upgrade it. Yeah. But even for such a cheap one,
it comes in handy.
I get a lot of use out of it.
And I had one, I think similar brand to what you've got there that I had for a while. I've got it in my car now. But the same thing, I found I was using it on a regular basis, which is, for me, I just got a new multi-tool. I don't know, we've got a story behind that of why I had to get a new one. But same thing for me. I've always got my wallet. I've always got my phone and my watch. And I always have at least one pocket knife. One knife, I will say. Yeah. Not always a pocket knife.
Not always a folding knife.
Yeah, not always a folding knife. But it depends on what I'm doing. So I always have my pocket knife. Again, and the only situation to that is if I'm traveling, going through the airport, then my knives are in my my check-in bag. Yeah. Which actually the last trip, or the trip before last that I flew out there, I wanted to make things quicker. So I packed everything into 2 carry-ons because I was flying Southwest. And so I couldn't bring a pocket knife with me that time. And I will tell you I was only there for 3.5 days, but felt really weird that 3.5 days not having my pocket knife.
Well, it turns out whenever I forget either of these tools, the pocket knife or the multi-tool, I need them.
You realize how much you use them on a day-to-day basis when you don't have them with you.
And even for just ridiculous things, I mean, I didn't have my knife on me, so I had my multi-tool, and I had to cut some food.
Yeah.
So I had to get the knife out.
Well, that was it. When I was at the hotel, I couldn't find where they put the steak knives. So I went to go get my pocket knife, and I didn't have it because I did the carry-on bags that time. But like I used the knife at a restaurant. I have no shame on that. If I'm eating somewhere, and I've been out on company dinners and gone to a steakhouse, and the steak knife they've got there is a glorified butter knife.
Yeah.
I've pulled my pocket knife out and cleaned it off a little bit and used it to cut my steak right there. But I use my knife multiple times a day on a daily basis, even just being at home. Now, when I'm at home working from the house, I don't carry my knife in my pocket, but I've got them different places throughout the house, and it's something I use all the time. When I'm out of the house,
if I'm tinkering around my house, I don't have it. But if I'm outside working at all,
Yeah.
I got it on me.
And then from there, it depends on what I'm doing. If I'm running up to Walmart or I'm going to some other store, something like that, I don't always carry a fixed blade knife. But if I'm coming over here, or if we're going to be out, just outdoors type stuff, I'll usually have a fixed blade knife, which we'll look at that in a minute. I got a new one of those, which I really like. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. But I'm overdue for one. I added the two things. Actually, there's three things I added to my always on me stuff. First one is one I used to have a while ago, but it's one of the paracord bracelets.
You see, I always debated those because I get it if you need it, it's there, but then, you don't have a bracelet anymore.
Yeah.
You use it, and then it's done.
Well, yeah, but then you get a new one. So, for example, this that I bought, so the reason I actually stopped wearing one was because the one I had was uncomfortably tight. It didn't fit my wrist well. Very
got off keto,
I was going to go with just because I'm ridiculously muscular, but it was very tight and uncomfortable, and it was the same type as this one that I'm showing here that you guys can't see, but it's got the ferrous rod in the middle with the latches with the fire starter, and you could use that as a little bit of a blade, and it's got the emergency whistle and a compass,
all in a very small
level. Yeah. And I tested it at the house. Like this ferrous rod with this little steel piece on here creates some pretty decent sparks for the size.
We'll have to demonstrate that because I honestly can't see how.
It's too bright here.
Still, I can't. Oh, well, if we have some char cloth.
Anyway, hopefully that didn't make too much noise on the audio, but I had to prove to Sean. So anyway. Especially with the bigger latch and how hard it was very uncomfortable on the wrist. But I found these that are designed for larger wrists, and they're adjustable. That's the end piece of paracord that's got the little slip knot thingy on there, and you can adjust it so it actually fits comfortable on my wrist. I like having the compass. Actually, I was wearing this earlier. I forget what I was doing yesterday, but I was trying to figure out directional for something, and I was like, hey, I got a compass on my wrist. It's not the best.
And it's awfully tiny.
And it is, but I wasn't sure if the iPhone thing would work on it, where I did the little figure 8 in the air to calibrate it, make sure it was working right.
Oh, gotcha.
But it was pointing where I believe north was, and it
where does it say north is right now?
North right now is where it always is, the opposite of south. It's saying that north is that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good.
That's south. Anyway, but again, it's a useful thing because, once you use it, it's done, but it's something to have. The other thing I added on my person every day was a lighter. This is a
plasma torch.
Yeah, it's like a torch lighter, and it also has a small pocket knife blade. It's not super sharp, but it could cut through something. Yeah. And then the really important parts is a bottle opener and a corkscrew, which
you never know.
You never know when you're going to need to open a beer or a bottle.
I
would say
that should be the name of this episode. It's heavy.
There have been many situations where I've needed to get a drink for one of our wives, and I have not had a corkscrew.
Yeah, I've been there too. Actually,
this could work. But again, I got it more for the lighter. It is. It's got some weight to it, but I like this.
I like heavy stuff.
Well,
Again, it comes from how much more muscular than I am.
That must be it.
It just doesn't feel that heavy to me. It feels kind of light to me, actually. And then the third one was more for fun, because I've usually always got my necklace on. So this was a dog tag.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that.
It's the dog tag that's got built into it a handcuff key and a little shim for lockpicking. And then, so the way it actually works is it's in there with a little metal tabs. You can pop them out.
Yeah.
Once you take them out, then there's actually a sticky backing you can put on the back of the dog tag so that it holds them in place and keeps them there. I don't have it on right now since.
So no matter how many times you get arrested and find yourself in handcuffs, you can.
I mean, granted, you got to hope they handcuff you from the front in that situation. Because if you're handcuffed behind your back, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get to the handcuff key that's around my neck.
Simple.
But I could probably figure something out.
You just have to fling it until you can catch it in your mouth.
Pop it out.
And then spit it over your head. Catch it with your hand.
Yeah.
It's easy.
I should put some time into practicing that.
Yeah, let's video that.
But again, that was more of just it was fun because it was kind of cool looking. But it is something I have on me.
We need to make sure that the adrenaline is there and that you feel the sense of doom. So I will handcuff you and throw you in the pool.
And then I have to get out.
Escape.
Yeah. Granted, I'm assuming you're going to have to tie something on my legs and because I can swim even with my hands.
You can swim in my 4-foot pool.
Well,
you won't be able to stand up.
But even though I may never use the handcuff key, the shim, I was looking at it, that I could use on. There are some locks that could be jimmied with that I've done before. That may come in handy.
I'd like to learn lock picking, so that's something that maybe we should put down. It's not really a. Well, you know what? It is a.
Spoiler alert, I've got a lockpick set in my everyday carry bag. But anyway, so those are the items I carry with me. Those are the items I carry with me on a everyday basis. So
then I guess that brings us to what goes in.
What do we have in our bags?
Right.
And why do we have those things in our bags?
And seeing them laid out on the table, we each have very different levels of preparedness.
We do. But on the plus side, we spend a lot of time together. So between our levels of preparedness, we should be covered.
Yeah.
So
as long as we wind up together. You've got, I mean, I keep saying it's like a mini go bag, which, I mean, honestly, that's what an EDC is.
Yeah, yeah.
My bag is about the size of a brick.
Yeah, a little bit bigger maybe.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit wider. So there's the difference in the bags. So, and my bag is a one of the ones you like throw over your shoulder.
Yeah,
I forget
and it's
what
like
they call it.
Gallon jug.
Nah, half gallon, 3/4 gallon. That's not quite a full gallon. Do you think?
You could fit a gallon in there and almost zip it up.
I don't know. I would agree to disagree. But I like this one because I wanted to be able to carry extra stuff. I like the MOLLE straps on the sides. And by the way, obviously we're talking about stuff here that you're having to visualize if you're listening. When we go pseudo camping this weekend.
Family camp trip. It's not really
so it's not really going to be a backwoods camping.
Yeah.
It's going to be at one of the parks here. We'll have some tents and stuff, but we have got grills and bathrooms and stuff there. But while we are there, we're going to use one of their tables and actually do a video this weekend showing what we've got in our bags, what we carry in our person, what we've got in our bags. So you'll be able to check that out as well. But I liked the paracord on, well, actually, I don't even think this is paracord. No, I didn't get the one with paracord. It's still just rope, but it's flammable.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you can take this off and use this for fire starting. It's got the MOLLE straps on the side, on the front pouch, and then the back's got some extra Velcro and some Velcro on the front as well. But it's got a couple different compartments. It does not have any side compartments. That was the one thing I didn't like. But again, with the MOLLE straps,
you could add.
I can add some extra stuff onto the side there. But again, I figured the same thing. I know, you guys have already built your go bags, which we have not done yet. So for me, putting this was kind of okay, what are some situations I'd run into for an everyday carry, but also just a little extra. And again, some of mine was some stuff more for fun. Well, quote unquote fun, but just extra things, that probably wouldn't have ever needed.
No. And hopefully I'll never have to use my go bag, but it's there.
Yeah, but you've got it just in case. So what are some things we've got similar? So we both have a charger.
Let me, since mine will take considerably less time to go through than yours.
All right. You want to go through yours?
I'll just go through with what I've got.
And we'll see if I have anything similar.
Right.
And then we'll see what's left over
So
afterwards.
this bag actually came from you as an anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, an
I was
anniversary gift.
kind of ruined it. I was going to say it looked like somebody pretty awesome got that for you.
Well,
And then, oh wait, was that me? I forgot.
Oh yeah, somebody really awesome. So mine also is, about size for brick.
Yeah.
It's got that military look.
Yeah.
A couple molly straps. And just
cool.
this
cool green color.
Cool green color. It's got a little mini flashlight attached to it that is.
Oh, that is bright.
That is bright.
Yeah.
And then what goes in it? I've got a separate flashlight.
All right. So you have two flashlights.
We have a flashlight in common.
So
lighters.
Well, hang on. Are you going to talk about your stuff at all?
Well, it's a flashlight.
Yeah,
it's a small flashlight.
So mine is my first flashlight.
I call this like a bullet flashlight.
So your bullet flashlight is a little bit bigger than my small flashlight, but not as big as my big flashlight.
Plus, it's got the zoom function on it.
See, okay, so my mini flashlight does not have that zoom function, but it's a little tiny pen light. Yeah. Well, a little bit bigger than the pen light. But then I've also got the bigger one that's got the zoom function on it. And
it's got that ridiculous strobe function, which is probably good.
Yeah, that was why because this was part of a 2-pack that I bought. Yeah, so it's got the strobe function.
Yeah.
And then it's got the shorter SOS one.
Yeah. Which I've always hated. It seems like all these flashlights you buy now have those multifunction.
Yeah.
And to go through the flash, you have to cycle through all of them if you just want to get to a straight flashlight. And that bothers me. But in this situation, that's a good thing to have.
Yeah. And again, this may be more borderline on a go bag, but not necessarily, I guess, because I guess an everyday carry bag would be more for emergencies, not you're planning on it. So having a flashlight that you can set up that can do the SOS strobe on its own.
If you disorient somebody, you can hit them with the strobe.
Yeah. But the SOS function is actually, because I was the same way, I hated that fact that I had to filter through it. But thinking about it from this scenario, if I've got in a situation where I need to use, I can turn that SOS on in an emergency. It's longer battery life than the standard flashlight, and it's not something you can focus on something else while you've got this just out and going.
Right. So
you've got a lighter.
Moving along. I've got a lighter, and you also have a lighter, as we discussed. Yes. But yours is on your person, not in your bag.
Correct.
Where do you keep it on your person?
In my pocket.
Oh, my God. I also have, this is, I'm not sure how this got in there, but this is a matchbook.
Nice.
From Papacito's Cantina. So, if you ever need a matchbook.
You ever need to write a note and leave it with a bartender?
Right.
Or the piano player?
Or I learned a cool thing from the movie Cocktail where he lights one match and then flings it across the bar. It's a cool trick. I'll have to show it to you when we're not in a small office.
All right, so my matches, I got the match container.
So let's just assume that everything I have,
fine.
You have no. Everything I have, you have the upgraded version.
So what you're saying is,
I have a matchbook, and you have. What do you have?
Well, that's not what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to insinuate that way.
I'm just so that people can visualize here.
Well, they'll see it on Saturday. So I got these from Walmart. This was $5. It is a waterproof container with the stormproof matches that we tested in the Firecraft video.
That we were both pretty thrilled about.
Yeah. And it has, on the outside of the container, has the striker. But it comes with, since this is a waterproof container, and that's not necessarily waterproof on the outside, it's got a little pouch. It's got a couple extra strikers that you can replace that in there. So this was, I think, $4.97.
I need to get. I need that
25 matches
back in here again. Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Again, hopefully, probably never going to necessarily be in a situation with my everyday carry where I'm going to need a stormproof match. But my theory behind this, in addition to having the lighter in my pocket, is again, let's say we're at somewhere where the fire goes out. Electricity goes out, something like that happens, and I don't have a go bag, or I'm not with my go bag. At least it's a spot where I know I've got some matches, and matches that are.
And honestly, I do need that. I need 6 of those.
Yeah,
I need one for each of our go bags, and then one from ADC. All right, emergency Mylar blanket.
I do not have one of those.
How about that? So if we have this situation, we had to cuddle under one.
Yeah. Although, after the comment you just made, I'm going to go find out whatever the upgrade to that is. And
come back with an actual sleeping bag. So you need one of these.
Yeah, I don't have one of those.
This emergency blanket, I don't know if you've seen them. You've probably seen them in movies. They are that shiny metal looking thing, but they're real light. It's like handling tissue paper.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never actually messed with one. I've seen them, but I've never.
It's like metal tissue paper. I mean, if you want to feel that, it's.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, you can't really understand how it's going to work, but they do work because they reflect all your body heat back on you. Yeah. There's no escaping.
It's like wrapping yourself in aluminum foil.
Yeah, which we've all done. Right? Yeah. I've got a water bottle strap that goes on the outside of this.
I don't have one of those either.
I just need to hook it to my one of the Molly straps, and then you hang a water bottle from
it. And that was cool. I liked that when we were looking at that with yours. Yeah. I didn't get one of those.
So I keep it in the bag, and then when the time comes that I need to use it, then I can hang it on the outside of the bag or hang it on my belt loop.
Yeah.
What's this thing called?
Wire saw?
Wire saw, thank you.
Garrote?
Wire saw. Garrote wire is a weapon. This is for cutting trees. Not for mafia cutting people's heads. No, but this is basically just a chain. Not even a chain. It's just it's wire.
It's braided wire.
Yeah, it's essentially like braided piano wire, I guess. And it's got 2 rings on either end, so you can hold on to it. And I think it's about 2 feet long.
Yeah, something like that. I've got one,
maybe not even 2 feet long, and you just hold it in each hand. You can wrap it around a tree, hold it in each hand, and just kind of pull it back and forth, and it cuts it.
Have you ever used one of those?
A few years back, yeah.
Yeah, I tried one a while ago, and it was pretty cool. Like, it works pretty good.
Neat. I mean, you don't want to cut hardwood with it. You don't want to cut a tree down, but for cutting limbs off of trees and stuff like that, especially with a softwood.
Even in a pine?
Yeah.
Like, I cut through a small pine with one a while back. It was pretty cool.
So it's handy.
Yeah.
And you still need one, right?
Well, I've got one in this little box here. We can talk about it a little bit. I did buy one separate, but I forgot to put it in my bag. I actually don't know where it is.
I was about to buy another one, and then I figured I'd look in here because I remembered that there was one, and I was right. And then I've got a compass. Nice. I like this compass. This reminds me of like a pirate compass.
Because it's gold.
It's gold. I need to put a Jolly Roger on it.
And it glows in the dark.
Is it really?
Yeah. Open it back up.
Yes, it does.
That white.
The ring.
Yeah, the white ring.
And I guess the needle that points north. Yeah. A little dab of stuff on it.
Did you not read any of the stuff that came with
that was
the present that somebody got you?
Dude, I like slept since then. I have no idea what that stuff said. And
there's a situation where I just used my pocket knife.
Yeah, on your upgraded compass.
I wouldn't call it an upgraded compass. I mean, it's a little bit better, but I don't know exactly how to use it.
And it's got that little thing that you can...
It's got the wire that you're supposed to be able to line up with something, and then it's got the 2 points.
Is that like a rangefinder? On the
dial. No, it's actually for degrees and azimuths. And outside of the business I'm in, I would have had no clue what an azimuth was.
Yeah. Let's just assume that for the listeners, they don't know what azimuth is.
So your azimuth is going to be basically around your 360 degrees. So, for example, if something was pointing to a azimuth of 180, that would be pointing due south.
Okay, so you're using the word azimuth and the definition of azimuth.
So I don't know what the definition of the word azimuth is. I just know what it is. It's the numerical value of where it's pointing or on the compass based on the 360 degree circle.
How about we demonstrate this on a video?
Okay, we can do that. But anyway, it's got where you can, which yours might have that as well on there.
Mine has no azimuth.
Let me see. Does it have numbers on it?
It does have numbers on it. So
0 to 360?
Yeah.
So that would be a simplified version of being able to determine the azimuth would be, if I'm remembering correctly, you need to know where north is. You're pointed north. So, for example, that's iron that's sitting right here on your wife's desk. So which direction is north? So where's north? North is pointing there. So this would be pointing at 100 degree azimuth. What would? Between the iron. See how it's facing that way?
Oh, I see.
It would be facing actually probably closer to 120 degree azimuth. We use those for how we set our antennas. When we're building the cell towers, and I've got 3 sectors on a tower, so 3 antennas pointing 3 different directions. Each sector points at a certain azimuth, which is how they determine that it's pointed where they want it to go to get the best coverage.
And I assume it has a certain coverage of degrees.
Yeah.
So they are full.
So they can adjust that and make sure that it's covering it. But the azimuth is basically that numerical value of the where it's pointing directionally on that 360-degree circle.
Okay. Well, this was a fun digression.
Well, there
Let's
you
move
go.
along.
And people are going to skip through that part. So,
Yeah.
All right. What else have you got?
I've also got this little credit card size
I forgot about
multi-tool.
I don't have one of those.
Well, I've only had an awesome friend. So this multi-tool, it's a little steel tool. It would fit in a wallet, but I'm not going to put it in my wallet. But it has multiple things like a can opener, a knife edge.
Nice.
Which is not really sharp.
A
little screwdriver, a ruler, a cap opener, a 4-position wrench.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it'll fit different size nuts. A butterfly wrench.
I'm not really 100% sure.
A
we
saw
should get
blade.
into the details of that on this.
A saw blade, which, I mean, I guess if you're cutting
you could probably use
finger
that for
off,
a little something.
Yeah. A direction ancillary indicator.
What exactly is
That's this guy here.
Oh.
I assume it has something to do with your azimuths.
A direction ancillary indicator, meaning as in you point this line this way, the other line's pointing the other way,
Exactly.
so you know which way to go.
Yes. A 2-position wrench and a lanyard key ring hole. So there you go.
Nice. That's actually
so I can
cool.
hang this from my neck. Yeah, this is a useful thing I have yet to use, but I'm sure I could find uses for it.
I had a credit card pocket knife that I used to carry in my wallet.
Yeah, I used to want one of those.
Those are actually kind of cool. I like them, and I used it for one time when I forgot my pocket knife, and I had it. It was very useful until I forgot that it was in my wallet, and I tried to go through airport security.
And you gave them that too.
They made me throw it away.
Wow. You got a habit of this.
Yeah. Not so much anymore.
I also have a emergency whistle.
Nice.
An emergency whistle. Do you not have a whistle either?
I've got a whistle
on your
the. See, your whistle is more upgraded than mine.
It is. It's very nice. This is like aircraft aluminum. I love this thing.
Nice.
Got my backup battery.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
This will charge, I think, 4 full phones.
Yeah, mine will probably do about the same.
Yeah, right. And the one that we have in our go bag is a solar charger.
The solar one's cool.
So you can drain it out and then set it in the sun, and then I think it takes like 2 hours or something, or an hour to refill completely.
Refill itself?
Maybe 3 hours.
That's cool.
I don't remember now. But I did like that function. That you never have to plug up.
This one, it's not solar powered. It is big. But it's got 3 ports.
And so you can fit 3 devices. That's nice.
And what it's also got that's cool is you can prioritize. It's 3 different charging speeds. So you can prioritize your devices.
Yeah.
So you plug whichever one you want the fastest charge on in your 2.1 amp speed charger, and then it's got another 2.1 and another 1.0.
That's neat.
So again, not necessarily in a survival situation, you're just out and about and need to do something, you need to charge your phone and your kid's tablet. Well, your phone takes priority.
That stuff would be needed in a survival situation as well.
Yeah.
I've also got a mini first aid kit. I have some triple antibiotic ointments, some Band-Aids. I think I've got some a little bit of gauze in here.
Yeah, I got something similar. Just It's got the basic stuff, the triple antibiotic ointment.
Yeah,
and
mine is pretty small because again, my bag is pretty small.
This was cool. It's a small little hard case.
Yeah, I like that. That's about what we have in our.
But again, it'll fit in the bag that I got. That's part of why. One point we didn't really talk about as much. And now might be now that we're referencing the different sizes of stuff we have and how it fits in the bags. Mm-hmm. One of the recommendations I read, which is what I did, was to kind of get an idea of the items you want to have in your everyday carry bag.
Yeah.
And get your bag based on that. Don't necessarily get a bag and then
try to
fill the bag. Determine what you want in the bag, and then get the bag that's going to fit those items with maybe a little bit of extra room.
That makes sense.
Which is what I did. So I picked out a few of these things. So I like the hard case on this. I mean, again, it's not much more than what you've got in there. It's got maybe a couple extra. It's got like the sting relief wipes for a bee sting or an ant bite. A couple things of the triple antibiotic ointment and hand sanitizer, and then different size Band-Aids and gauze and stuff. Yeah. I do like that it's easily identifiable as a first aid. Mm-hmm. And I like the hard case on there. As you start using some of the supplies, it can be refilled. You can put some extra stuff in there.
Yeah, and I like that. We have one that's a little bit bigger in our go bags, and then the kids have one that's about that size.
And then one of the, quote unquote fun items that I mentioned that I added. So to go along with my first aid kit, I also have a pack of emergency sutures.
Oh, yeah.
So it is a 6-pack, I think. Yeah, it's a 6-pack. I don't know the sizes. 1.5 metric, it's a 4/0, 1.5 metric, 75 centimeter. So I don't know what any of that crap means, other than it's got a really sharp needle attached to the suture thread. So if we were out in the woods and one of us was to cut our arm open, we would be able to suture ourselves back up.
I've got some emergency sutures, but they're old. They're fine. They're still sterile. They're in little glass containers.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool to bring, but they're in glass containers.
So you're going to cut yourself on the suture. But again, that wasn't that expensive. That was a few bucks. I don't remember how much it was for sure. It wasn't that expensive, but I thought it would be cool to have.
Is that the actual size? I wonder.
I don't know. Oh, that could be it.
The herringbone?
Yeah, that could be it maybe. I don't know.
And I guess it comes with thread.
Yeah, the thread, it's already attached to it.
Okay,
yeah. It's already attached to it, so you can just stitch up and seal. It's basically, looking at the pictures, this is exactly the way it looked and was threaded already, is what they used when Seth had to go into the emergency room for his stitching his arm up. This was exactly that. It was already, they just peeled these open. It was already on the needle. It wasn't like you had to thread it. They just were able to take it out, start stitching away, and then tie it off and cut it when they were done.
Didn't have to dunk it in some alcohol and then light it on fire.
No, the doctor had vodka, but I think that was more for him keeping the hand steady than
okay, so my last item, like I said, this was a brief exploration in my bag, is a waterproof notepad, which is pretty neat.
Yeah. Have you tried writing on it?
I wrote Suburban Outdoorsman.
Nice.
And it did not get wet when I got it wet.
I wrote test on mine.
Oh, you're just bigger. And I've got a pen. It's a very ridiculous military-looking pen.
Yeah.
But there is a pen side on one, and the other side is a window punch.
Yeah.
So it is neat.
The one thing, and I tried to find one of these for you, but I couldn't on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't going to give you this one because I like you, but not as much as I like myself. But of course, mine has.
Of course, it does.
A blade in it. It's a knife blade.
So you've got like 8 different ways to cut somebody.
Something.
So that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. So I've got the
Freudian slip.
Yeah, on the pen. Mine has they call it a window breaker, but it's not as pointed as yours. That was a bit more flat. I don't really, other than the fact that it's hard, I don't see as much how this is going to be a window breaker. Like yours comes to that point with the little metal tip on it.
Yeah.
I see being more useful for that.
These are also, even that one is very useful in a personal protection situation.
Well, yeah, because it's got a knife blade on it.
Well, no, if you can't get to the knife, the little tiny knife blade.
Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Yeah. As far as, and Erin used to have one of those. Actually, I bought one of these both for Erin and I. I lost mine, but she used to carry this in her purse. But then she gave it to me to keep in my bag. And then, of course, it's got the pen on it. But
so you could always jab them with the blunt end there.
Yeah.
Unless they want to die by 1,000 cuts.
Exactly. Right. But I like it, but it's also, and I haven't tested with the pen. I'm pretty sure your pen specifically said that it was also supposed to be waterproof, as in you could write even on wet paper or in wet environments.
I would hope so. If not, I want to see about using a pencil.
Yeah. But when I was looking to set this up for you, waterproof notebook was not something I'd ever thought of before.
Yeah, me either.
And so I didn't have, at the time, I wish I would have gotten the 3-pack of those notebooks that came. Because then I would have already had one. I wouldn't have had to get one.
Buy a bigger one.
But I couldn't find that one again, so that's why I bought the bigger one.
Like, okay, well, Sean's got this one, and then there's this one.
Yeah.
Guess I'm getting this one.
That was actually, what I did is I saved everything I bought for you, and then you know how at the bottom, like you can do the comparison.
They also bought.
It's got the comparison of, okay, here's what this one does, but here's what's better. I didn't even look at the price. I just clicked and it's like, why are you spending $1,200 on an everyday carry bag?
Because it's better than Sean's.
All right,
so what have you got separate that I
Those
don't?
are the things that we've got all the same. Now, I will say, so...
You have the charger cords, which is nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I've talked about that before. I do need to buy at least one additional charger cord.
Well, actually, that's one point I didn't even notice the fact that you didn't have those. You've got your backup charger. What are you going to do if your phone dies?
I'm hoping I have a charger with me, which if
I'm
in my car, I have one there.
Yeah, that's true.
But I would like to have one in my bag.
So what I put on mine, so I've got two, they're both small cords. One's the iPhone charger is a 3-foot cord, and the micro USB is a 12-inch, 8-inch, something like that. But I've got one of each of those because those are the two most common devices. I don't have a charger for my watch. If out in an emergency situation, my watch dies. Oh well.
You can buy a lot of these. What are these things called?
Chargers,
backup chargers.
Yeah.
You can buy a lot of them now that have the inductive plates, so you can. So you can charge your
that
phone
one.
or your stuff.
To be honest with you, we bought this one for the convention or something like that for the boys' tablets.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent more money on this than I wanted to because it was going to be more like the family one to have.
Mm-hmm.
Not one for me to carry in my bag. But then got to think about it afterwards, and I put it in my everyday carry bag because it's not something for a family thing that we're going to be using on a regular basis.
Yeah, no.
And at least in my everyday carry bag, I know where it is.
Yeah. That's the thing here.
So,
I've pulled it out of here a few times to use it.
Yeah.
But it goes back.
Got to make sure you put it back when you're done.
Put it back charged.
So what else do I got? Okay, so we'll go back to the bag stuff real quick, and then I'll show you the couple extra things I had beyond that.
You got your paracord there.
So this is actually not paracord. This is just nylon braided rope.
Oh.
But it's 300 pound, and it's 75 foot, and it fits in with how this bag is set up. When I get everything put in there the way I want it, it'll just fit on top. And again, rope is something that quite often we seem to be looking for.
Yeah.
And again, whether I'm out and about doing stuff, or even if I'm over here, I'm going to have my bag in the car. So I know, hey, if we were in a situation where we really need some rope and we can't find any, at least I know I've got some in the bag. And again, it was something I knew I wanted. That's part of why I went with this bag, and it'll fit in there. I have an extra battery for
flashlight.
The small flashlight. The small flashlight takes one AA. So I've got an extra one of those. The bigger flashlight takes 3 AAAs, which I don't have those. I've got that on my shopping list to get some more AAA batteries at the store, but I'm going to keep those in the bottom of this bag as well, just to keep extra batteries.
Yeah, that's good.
For the flashlights. This was another one that was just kind of for fun, and I had room to make it fit. It's a, what do you call the single one? Monocular?
Monocle. Oh,
monocular. But yeah, it's a 10 by 25. It's really not anything spectacular. I don't know that I'm going to keep it in there or not. It has very minimal focus on there. I was picturing more, being in the urban environment and needing to scope out a place to go crash for the night.
See how many zombies are in one spot over another.
Yeah. So I bought this for $10 at Walmart. But yeah, I mean, it's not.
You could have gotten binoculars for the same.
Yeah, could have spent a little bit more on a pair of binoculars and gotten them in there. And so I don't know that I'm going to keep that in there. When I finish putting my go bag together, I do have a nice pair of binoculars that I bought that were in my hunting bag before that'll go in that. So I guess this kind of goes along with the first aid kit. I've got some nitrile gloves. They're not sterile. So if you were in a situation where somebody was cut open and you were trying to suture them up, this is not going to be for their benefit. This is more for your benefit.
Yeah.
If you're dealing in a first aid situation, or, just in general, something where you're not wanting to get crap all over your hands. I've got, I think, like 2 pairs of nitrile gloves wrapped up together.
If you have to gut an animal, you don't always want to put your hands on it.
And the same thing in my hunting bag. I've got a bunch of those curled up in there. I've got an extra one of the paracord bracelets we talked about. I'll talk about this when I get to the multi-tool. And then this is the small fixed blade knife that I keep in the bag. It's a Schrade. It's a full tang. It's probably about 4.5 inches.
Is it full tang?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's sharp. I like it. It's got one of the hard plastic sheaths, so I keep it in the sheath. So if I need to take it out and put it in the bag, I can. Take it out and put it on my belt, I can. But I keep that one as far as having a small fixed blade in my bag. And then I also have, like we talked about, that was the spoiler, I've got my lockpick set. Now, I am not efficient with this at all. I cannot pick a tumbler lock. I can jimmy other locks. I can get past, like the kind of lock you've got on here.
Yeah, just the regular handle lock.
Yeah, I've been able to pick those and jimmy those. It comes with a whole bunch of tools in here. We'll show it on the video. You can take a look at there. I don't have any clue how to use most of that stuff in there. But I do at home have the practice tumbler lock. And you look at a couple videos on how to use it. And again, that's obviously more of the urban side of things than the outdoor side of things. And this is also for entertainment and personal use. It is illegal to unlawfully pick the lock of something that is not yours. So don't do it.
Should we throw that in there?
Yeah, I actually had...
But it's great at parties.
We had one of the guys in the office when I worked out in Colorado. We needed keys to the truck. And the other guy that held the keys to the truck was out sick that day. So one of the other managers there went out to his truck, got his lockpick set that he kept in his everyday carry bag, grabbed his lockpick set, came and picked the lock, opened the drawer, got the keys out. That was it. We didn't touch anything else in there. It's one of those things that it's like it's owned by the company. It's filing cabinet.
Yeah.
The market director gave him the permission to do it. Well, it turns out that particular employee was planning on resigning and had an offer letter locked in that drawer from another company. So when he found out that we had picked the lock and opened it up, he blew a gasket. Nobody saw it. Nobody knew anything about it, but he just still blew a gasket, turned into a huge ordeal. So be very careful of what you do with it. And then, so the last one I've got is another hard case I've got. This was sold as a standalone kind of survival everyday carry tin. Mm-hmm. It is a little tin container, which they talk about using this for your everyday carry as far as you can use this tin to boil water in, you can use it to dig dirt, you can use it to make char cloth.
But there's no holes in it.
There's no holes in it, so you would have to put the holes in it yourself if you were going to try and make the char cloth. But you could still take it off and boil water.
Yeah.
The band that's holding it together is a Ranger band. I wasn't familiar with these before, but they're basically like a really strong rubber band, but they're also highly flammable.
Oh, wow.
So you can use it to wrap up some sticks and kindling and then light it on fire, and it'll help get a fire started. Oh. So this is interesting. So this comes with, it mentions on here, the metal container you can use for water purification, cooking, digging, reflector signal, make char cloth for tinder.
Reflective, there's a shiny side.
Yeah, the inside of it is a shiny or a smooth metal.
Okay.
Now it comes with an emergency whistle and a ferrous rod fire starter. It's got a little water resistant red LED light. It's a little tiny bulb that you can turn on and it'll blink red. It's got a couple mini chemical light sticks, liquid filled compass, Tactiglow fire cord, 7-strand, 550 pound. It looks like a paracord type. It's 550 pound strength, but it's got some flammable cord that runs through the middle of it, so you can use it as a fire cord also if you're not using it to bind stuff together. It's got some copper snare wire in there, which is kind of cool. It's got a little mini sewing kit, needles, thread, buttons, and threader. It's got safety pins, paper clips. It has a scalpel, and it says on there, as long as it remains in that package, it is a sterilized surgical scalpel. And then it's got some first aid supplies in there. It's got a fishing kit, hooks tied to nylon, size 10, a foam winder, 8mm 6-pound line, and fishing lures. Comes with one tampon that they say you can use as tinder, wound dressing, etc. It's got a little, what do they call it? A water carrier. No joke. Looks like a condom. Which I thought when I opened this, my wife was looking at me. She's like, "Why do you have a condom and a tampon in your survival kit?" But obviously, the one is the gauze for tinder or for stuff. But this one actually, it fills up like a balloon basically to carry water. So it's got a lot of stuff in here, similar to other primary things I've had, like the first aid kit. There's duplicates in there from that, but it's the other stuff that I like in that tin. It's the fishing line and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's everything that goes in my bag. Other than I do have the pouch to my multi-tool. So
you keep that.
I keep the pouch to the multi-tool in my bag for the reason of this is one of the few things most of the supplies, and I think yours are the same way. Most of the supplies we've got here, I don't know the name and model number of most of what I've got in here.
Yeah.
Even for my knives are the same. I know, what is it? This is, striker pocket knife that we got here.
Well, I mean, things like the pocket knives and the paracord bracelet, the lighters, all that stuff. If you're going to build your own bag, you're going to build it to however you want it.
Yeah.
So we can tell you, and we'll show you in the video, the kind of stuff that...
We'll give recommendations on some stuff.
Yeah, just
but
stuff that
some
works
of it is
for us.
just, like, again, I've seen
It's your preference.
I've seen people that have put some of these everyday carry bags that use, like, the top of the line of everything. Like, the pocket knife they recommend is a $95 pocket knife.
Yeah, but...
With a $150 fixed blade knife. And I'm sorry, but, I mean, I'm not opposed to spending that money on knives because I love knives
But if I'm going to spend that kind of money, it'll be something that I'm using.
It's something I'm using on a regular basis. Because to me, I mean, again, if I... Well, I'll actually ask that question in a minute. But the one thing I do have is I like this SOG multi-tool. So this is one we were talking about that had the store. I actually got one as part of a outdoor kit I got when we first moved out here to Georgia.
Yeah.
I had it in my pocket. I took my pocket knife out, packed it in my bag, had everything else packed up, and ended up going through security at the airport with this. And I was running late for my flight. I didn't have time to go check the other bag. They had already taken the one. I didn't have time to get my backpack checked. And I ended up just dumping it in the trash can.
And then what did you find out when you got to the
and
gate?
Then I found out when I went through security that apparently they have those little envelopes there that you can mail yourself stuff home in for a nominal charge, which would have been cheaper to pay that.
Yep.
But I'd never been in that situation before. I'd never noticed those. I didn't realize they had them here before. But it's a baton. So it's a little baton that goes in your pocket, and then you can pop it out, and it's got pliers. It's got the pliers with the wire cutter. And then in one handle, it has few different tools. What all they have in here again? You've got a very, very sharp knife.
Also, as you've discovered.
I discovered when I sliced my finger open with that.
Yep.
A pretty deep cut. But it was very sharp. It didn't actually hurt at first. Didn't even realize I did it until the blood started dripping. It's got a file. It's got a bottle opener and a can opener. Both with the can opener's got the bottle opener's got a Phillips.
Nope.
You know, one of those cheap flathead screwdriver tip. And then the can opener one has the little mini one that you could use on like a Phillips.
Okay, so it doesn't have a true Phillips.
Doesn't have a true Phillips on here. That's just the small one that's designed. But what I really liked about this one, which this is the upgraded version of the one that I lost at the airport.
Misplaced.
So the reason I keep the kit in my bag is on the second handle, in the tip, there's a little holder where you can put bits in there.
A receiver.
So in the handle is a two-headed bit. It's got a Phillips blade, or a Phillips head, and a straight blade on there. So you can fit that in there. In the pouch that it comes with is a little holder that has couple different sizes, Phillips heads, as well as some of the different star bits. So I keep those inside the bag. Now, what's really cool that I was showing you right before we did this that I just discovered is not only does this hold the different screwdriver heads, but it's also ratcheting. So the little lever here, you can click to ratchet either to loosen or to tighten.
Which is really impressive because I've never seen one that has a ratchet.
Yeah, I've never seen one of these little multi-tools like that. And I've had a couple different SOG knives. I've seen some people pronounce it as SOG, others as SOG. I don't know what the 100% correct on there is.
I think SOG is better.
I really like their knives. That tomahawk that I have is an SOG. I've had a few of their knives. I really like them.
Well, the multi-tool I'm looking at is an SOG also.
But this is the multi-tool that I carry in my pocket, and then the other part of it is in the bag. And then the other one that I know you were saying you need to get to. So this is the fixed blade. It's a Smith & Wesson. It's a full tang as well.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger than the other one.
And that's just a tactical knife.
Yeah. And this is just what I would, if I was coming over here doing stuff outside, messing with anything, that would be the fixed blade knife that I would have on my person. So some of this will probably be a lot more interesting when you can follow it up with the video.
Yeah, we'll try to
taking a look at.
I mean, hoping everyone that's watched the video is also listening to the podcast. So we'll probably move a little bit quicker through the.
Well, and what I'll do with the video too is I think we'll do. I know I haven't uploaded the second one yet, but we talked about cutting down the Firecraft video to cut out, just focus on some more main points. But we wanted to have the longer video to show what we're going through. Somebody who's new to this that wants to see everything. So I'm thinking we can probably do the same thing with this. We can probably spend a little bit more time. Like, I would love to break open on camera that little kit that I got. That's got.
Have you not been in it yet?
I have been in it, but I'm saying as far as just showing some of the stuff that's in there, you know, and breaking into some of your stuff a little more, the blanket and things like that. I think that would
breaking
be
the
cool.
blanket. I'm going to have to buy another blanket because I'm not going to fold it up like that.
Well, that's an important skill.
Well, you can work on that and teach me.
So I think we can do both. We'll have a little bit longer of a video where we're going through everything, but we'll also keep it kind of condensed and shortened down as well.
Yeah.
But we'll do that this weekend while we're camping and demonstrate that, and then so we'll have this podcast up here in the next 24 hours, and then we'll do the video this weekend and get that posted up as well.
And my Lefroy Scotch is nearly done, so that means
it's
that
time to wrap up.
We're wrapping up here.
All right. So what are we going to come back with?
We're not going to attempt another segue, right? Because the first one was a disaster.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just talk about what are we doing next.
I think we're talking about doing a outdoor cooking issue.
Oh yeah.
So more like a survival, not just barbecuing.
Yeah. That's a nice follow up to our firecraft. Now we know what we can use to help get fire started.
So if you're out in the woods, you hunt an animal, you don't want to eat its raw meat.
Yeah.
Because you're not that kind of person. So you need to build a means to cook it.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to make a nice stew, and you don't want to have to use
Yeah.
You know, you've got limited supplies, limited wood.
So we look at how, it's not as much about building the fire, but it's going to be about how we're going to build a way to cook the food, whether it's mammals, fish, boiling water for stew.
And something I learned years ago, I listened to it on a podcast. I've seen it done. I've never actually built one, of course, but that's how this podcast works.
Yeah.
Is a rocket stove and a Dakota oven, which they're fairly similar.
Okay.
But it's just a means. I'm not going to attempt to describe it. You can Google this stuff or wait for the video.
Yeah.
But it's just a means of creating a nice hot heat with using minimal tinder.
Are we going to do this with the same layout we did with the firecraft stuff, where we're going to do an episode kind of describing what it is, like what a rocket stove is, what's the other one?
Dakota oven.
A Dakota oven. I was thinking Dutch oven, but that's something different.
That's something way different.
I wonder if that's an effective way to cook something.
Get divorced? Yeah, absolutely.
So a rocket stove or a Dakota oven, look at some items like that. Maybe throw in some other stuff using wooden planks, maybe.
Yeah.
I've used those on the grill. I would assume they'd work on a campfire, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, if it's on a fire, it's going to...
Yeah, if you're directly on the fire, it's going to eventually burn. But so we'll do an episode where we'll kind of talk about it, the concepts behind them, how they're supposed to work, and then we'll do the YouTube video.
We'll discuss how easy it should be to build these, and then we'll do the video, and hopefully we can make one work.
Impress everybody with our mad outdoor skills. So cool. So that'll probably be, we'll do that podcast. I guess we'll probably do that podcast next week.
Yeah.
And then we will have a short break in between the podcast and the video just because I will be out of town for a week.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be back in town, and with the July 4th holiday, having some time off, maybe we'll be able to do the YouTube video and the follow-up podcast.
Is that near? July 4th?
A couple weeks.
My goodness.
Well, we're going camping this weekend. And then June. I'll be here during the week next week, which we'll do this initial episode, and then that following week is when I leave.
Good grief. This year's going by.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So, all right, cool. Well, as always, we do ask that you go to wherever you get your podcast from and give us a rating, leave a comment.
Comments are especially helpful.
Yes, much appreciated. Would love to get feedback too. Obviously any comments like, hey, you guys are awesome, keep it up. Those are always appreciated. But would also love to hear your thoughts on the specifics of the episode. Do you have an everyday carry? What do you have in yours? What did you hear that we've got that either we should have something better or we don't need it all?
If you have some stark criticism you want to let us know, just, keep it to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless it has to do with how crappy Sean's bag is. Then, we can encourage him to upgrade some more. And not everything in my bag is bigger. I just want to, that really hurt my feelings there a little bit. Like I was trying to outdo you,
I know you better than that.
Your whistle is definitely bigger than mine.
Well, I don't know what the whistle looks like in your little tongue.
Oh, that's true. That one's probably bigger. But anyway, we appreciate that. We'll have our links to the rest of our social media below, as well as to our YouTube channel where we'll be posting the video. And we appreciate all the support, and we look forward to talking to you next time.
We will see you then. We hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode. If you'd like to show us support, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast, as well as leave a comment. Also, you can swing over to our website at suburbanoutdoorsman.com, as well as all of our social media accounts. They all have exclusive content, as well as additional information on your hosts, Sean and Kevin, and our individual journeys that led us here.